Good morning from London. Good morning from London. Today I'm going to take you on a culinary journey where I tell you about some of the best British dishes you should try when you are here. And I'm going to tell you what places you should go to have them. Now, we better get going because I have a lot of food to eat and I actually don't even know how I'm going to stomach all of this in one day. But let's go. We're gonna start our day in the very British way of having a full English breakfast, also known as a fry-up. We are at the Breakfast Club, which is known as one of the best places to get a fry-up in London. We're gonna go inside and we're gonna eat, and I'm gonna tell you why this dish is a little bit controversial. Okay, so we've ordered the full Monty, which is what they call the English breakfast here. Now, this dish dates back to the 1300s, but it became popular in the Victorian era when the wealthy people would use it as a way to show off how much money they had because of all the food they had on their breakfast plate. These days, we have a lot of options in London when it comes to breakfast, so it's not something that we eat all the time. But you will see that this dish is great for if you're hungover and you need to give yourself some life. Amazing, thank you so much. The full Monty has just arrived. Let me walk you through what is on this plate. It can vary depending on where you're ordering it from, but there's a lot of stuff that's pretty standard. So we start with the sausages, bacon, baked beans, 2 poached eggs. There's always some kind of fried potato, roasted tomatoes, mushrooms. This one also comes with hash browns and some toast. And the most controversial thing on the plate is the black pudding. This is sort of like sausage. It's made in a similar way, but it is made with animal blood, usually pig's blood. So some people order this and decide to skip the black pudding. This is what John is gonna be eating, and I went for the vegetarian option. This comes with a vegetarian sausage, 2 hash browns, some fried eggs as well as scrambled. I asked for some scrambled, roasted tomatoes, veggie bacon, and baked beans as well. We're gonna eat well. There we go. Oh God. So this is the thing about ordering a fry-up is that it's massive. So I'm gonna get this wrapped up and we're gonna move on to the next place, which is in Greenwich. Today's gonna be a good day. We're here at Goddard's of Greenwich, a family-run business that's been here since 1890, and they specialize in the next dish that we're gonna try, which is called pie and mash. So let's go eat some. Okay, we've just come in, and before we eat, I have somebody here who would like to explain some things to you. Jeff, take it away.
Hiya. Hello, my name's Jeff Goddard. I'm 4th generation of the pie and mash business here.
Okay, so Jeff, can you explain what is in the traditional pie and mash?
Okay, glad you've asked that. The most traditional pie and mash is the minced beef pie that we do. That's the pie that we've been doing down through the generations. As time's gone on, in recent years, we've expanded it to other flavours, like we do a chicken and mushroom, we do a steak and ale, we do veggie options. We even do a gluten-free one nowadays because of the amount of allergies. But the most traditional one is the minced beef pie. And basically, it is a pie which consists of, you've got like a rough puff pastry on the top, and then like a suety short crust pastry on the bottom. And then inside, it is just ground or minced beef in a light sort of gravy. And then what you have with that, you get the mashed potato, and then the main ingredient on the top of it is called liquor, which is like a parsley sauce that goes over the top of the pie and mash. How it got its name is basically, we do eels as well, but when they used to cook the eels off, the stewing stock from cooking the eels, they made a parsley sauce from it because people sort of traditionally think of parsley going with fish. So they made a parsley sauce from the fish stock, and that was referred to as the liquor of the eels. Nowadays, however, because we don't sell that many eels, the liquor sauce is made from a vegetable base.
Okay, we've got our pies. This is the classic minced beef pie and mash with the liquor on top, the parsley sauce, and my vegan option, which is actually very similar to the traditional one, but completely plant-based. And I opted for gravy on top of the pie and mashed potatoes. Okay, we've had our pie and mash. Time to go to the next place. If you're coming here from outside the UK, you might not be aware that Indian is one of the most popular cuisines here, and these days is actually a huge part of life. This started back in the 1700s when the British were colonizing India and the cuisine started to make its way to Britain. By the 1900s, popularity grew due to growth to the South Asian population here. These days, Londoners and Brits alike love to get a curry as a takeaway or when going out to eat. And today we've come to the absolute favorite Indian spot for Londoners, Dishoom. Dishoom is a chain of Bombay-inspired Indian restaurants with a modern take on dishes. It's become so popular because the food is amazing, it's relatively affordable, the decor is nice, and the staff are really friendly. It's really popular though, so try to make a reservation or come for breakfast, which is actually one of my favorites in London. Food has arrived. Let me talk you through what we ordered. So this is the house chaat. Highly recommend this. We have got paneer tikka. Paneer is sort of like a cheese, so this is vegetarians. This is the house black dal, which is like the must order when you come here. It is essentially black lentils. So good. This is the chicken ruby, which all of my meat-eating friends always say you have to get when you come to Dishoom. And then we got some naan on the side that we can dip into some of the sauces and also soak up some of the liquids that we've got going on. So good. By the way, if it's your first time visiting London, I have a free London 101 guide, which has everything you need to know before you come to this city, and you can get it completely for free by clicking the link in the description box of this video. So go and do that. Okay, and now we go back to eating all the food. Now, we couldn't do this video without talking about fish and chips. Is this the most popular dish tourists want to get when they come here? I think so. So first we're gonna stop into the award-winning Poppies, named after East Ender Pat Pop Newland, who is the man behind this enterprise and who started working with fish and chips at 11 years old. Now, this dish has been around the UK since the 1860s and has been a staple of the fast food industry in this country since then. The deal here is quite simple. You either get cod or haddock, which is battered and then fried, and then you've got chips on the side. A lot of people will also order mushy peas on the side, which is the most unappealing name, and they don't look that great either, but I think they're pretty good. By the way, this is a regular size. As you can see, it's quite big, so you might want to split this with someone. Now, if you're like Jess, I don't eat fish, help a girl out, no problem. Let's head over this way. This is Unity Diner. It was founded back in 2018 by a group of friends, including vegan educator Earthling Ed, to show people the power of plants through a fully vegan menu. This is actually a nonprofit, which means that all the proceeds are put into their animal rights work, and they serve a pretty good vegan fish and chips. So let's go try it. This is the award-winning toe fish and chips, which even comes with tartar sauce and mushy peas. So I'm ready to dig in. We're eating a lot of food on this shoot day, so I'm making sure none of it goes to waste and taking it all away and having it for dinner tonight. One of my favorite British traditions is Sunday roast. You can only get it on Sundays, obviously, and it not only involves really good food, but also time with your family and friends. Now, almost every pub around London will serve Sunday roast, but we are here today at one of my favorites, which is the Scold's Head. So let's go inside and I'll show you what it's all about. So for a long time now, Brits have gathered family and friends to the pub on Sundays to indulge in a Sunday roast and to have a pint of beer or a glass of wine. If you eat at a pub on a Sunday, you'll automatically get this Sunday menu, which has your choice of meat. Usually there's chicken, pork, beef, and vegetarian and vegan. You choose which one you want, then along with it comes the trimmings. You'll see my veggie roast has arrived. I love this one, it is so good. Along with the nut roast, which this one kind of tastes like stuffing. There are roast potatoes, some roast vegetables, gravy, and this is a Yorkshire pudding, which you can use to soak up any extra gravy. I honestly love Sundays where I meet friends at the pub for Sunday roast. We eat, we catch up, and roll home ready for bed to start a new week. Such a nice tradition. Another British tradition to try when you're in London is afternoon tea. Afternoon tea came about in 1840 when Anna, the 7th Duchess of Bedford, requested some snacks, some tea, some sweets in between lunch and dinner because she was getting hungry, and the trend caught on. These days, lots of the city's high-end luxury hotels offer afternoon tea in the afternoon, obviously, in their beautiful dining rooms. Now, because going for afternoon tea is a bit of a pricier experience, Londoners tend to reserve it for special occasions like birthdays, but as a tourist, I think it's something you must do. We do have a video where we talk about what afternoon tea is and show you some of the most luxurious places in the city to do it, so make sure you watch that next by clicking the link in the description box. Right, I'm gonna take my leftovers and go home and go to bed. But if you're coming to London and you want more tips, then click one of the boxes popping up right around me to watch one of my other videos. Hello from London. Here we are again. You guys obviously love food, which is fair. So we're doing more British dishes that you should try when you're in London, and we're gonna tell you where you should go to get them. So who's ready for eating a ton of food in a short amount of time? Yeah? Cool, let's go. Okay, we've got a long day ahead of us, so let's grab a snack along the way to start with. The first British dish we're going to try is actually more like a snack, and it's called a Scotch egg. We're gonna go into Fortnum & Mason, into their food hall right here on the busy Piccadilly to go grab one because they actually claim they're the ones that invented the Scotch egg. However, we will talk about in a little bit how that has actually been contested. So let's go get our Scotch egg. Yeah. That's it. Okay, my British viewers probably thinking about Scotch eggs in the form of what you get at like the grocery store or at a petrol station where it's kind of like a cheap, not so great snack, but actually there are places you can get really nice ones here in London. In fact, Scotch eggs were originally devoured by the rich as they were going from the city out to their country houses way back when. And that's what Fortnum & Mason has said they invented them for. They're essentially a little portable ball like this. You can actually eat it like an apple. But if we open it up, I'll show you what's inside. Let's see if this works. Okay, yeah. So there's breadcrumb on the outside, then there's a layer of sausage, usually it's pork, and on the inside is an egg. Now, I'm vegetarian, so Letitia behind the camera is actually gonna eat this one, and usually Fortnum & Mason do have a vegetarian option, but today they did not, so I can't eat this, but it's fine. Okay, so like I said, Fortnum & Mason claimed to have invented the Scotch egg back in 1738. However, this has been contested, and it's been said they've pulled inspiration from a lot of different places, like an Indian dish, nigirsi kofta, and also potentially pulling influence from North African countries like Algeria. There's also a place in East Yorkshire that claims to have invented them, and they actually do fish around the egg instead of sausage. Now, this is an interesting theory because the family claiming this are called the Scots, so the name Scotch egg would actually make sense with that. So really, we don't know. The one thing we do know, however, is they are not Scottish. Right, that's for you, Letitia. Next up, we're gonna get ourselves a light-ish lunch in the form of a Cornish pasty. Now, Cornish pasties are so classic and so popular that they actually have their own association. I'm not joking, it's called the Cornish Pasty association. Even though it started as something that was popular with the rich, it became more well-known with the working class because it was eaten down in the mines in Cornwall in southwest London in England. Southwest England. Just like the Scotch egg, it was super portable, so it was very easy to take it all the way down underground. Now we're gonna go grab our pasties from the pasty shop, which is a little chain of stalls that you find usually in train stations. There are other places you can get pasties. You can pick them up at a lot of traditional English pubs around the city. There's also a place, the Regency Cafe, which is a cult classic because it's been featured in loads of different films and TV shows that do both vegetarian and traditional pasties. But we tried to film in there today and they said, nope, no filming. So we're going to this place instead. So come on. Can I please get one large cheese and onion and one large traditional? Perfect, thank you. That's it, yeah. Okay, so as you can see, this is like a little folded pie with filling on the inside and a flaky crust around it. And the reason it was so popular with miners is because it had this crust here. The miners could use their dirty hands only on this bit, eat the part with the filling, and then chuck away the part that was dirty from their hands. Usually traditional Cornish pasties have ground beef, turnip, and potato as the filling on the inside, but these days you can get them filled with a whole bunch of different things, and also there's usually veggie and vegan options. But the traditional is what makes it a proper Cornish pasty, and also if it's made in Cornwall. So this one is in the traditional style. That's what Letitia behind the camera is gonna eat, and I'm going to have a vegetarian one that's stuffed with cheese and onion. For scale, this was the normal size pasty they had available, which is as big as my head. They also had a giant one, so I stick with the smaller ones. I love these. They are so good, especially cheese and onion. Can't go wrong. Okay, let's go eat more food. We are here at Mother Mash to try another classic British dish called bangers and mash. So let's go inside and try it. So bangers and mash couldn't sound any more British, right? It's essentially bangers, which are sausages, mashed potato, that's the mash, and gravy. The sausages are usually pork, but sometimes you can get other types or vegetarian, and this is very filling. I really like this place because they do a modern take on the British classics and they make it really easy to order. You basically, step 1, choose your mash. Step 2, choose the protein that you want. And step 3, what kind of gravy that you want. So it makes it really simple. Okay, classic mash, Cumberland sausage, and traditional gravy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So here they are. We've got Letitia's, which is pork sausages, her mashed potatoes, and the classic traditional gravy. And then I've got my veggie sausages here, also with mashed potatoes, and I've got a caramelized onion gravy. Now, if you're wondering why the sausages are called bangers, that's because during World War I, there was a meat shortage, so they used to stuff sausages with as much water as they could, so much that sometimes when they cooked them, they would explode. Okay, we're gonna switch it up now and try something sweet. We're going to go in and have sticky toffee pudding. Hawksmoor, right behind me, is known as one of the best spots in London to have sticky toffee pudding. So let's go inside and have something very sugary and very sweet. This is probably Britain's most famous dessert ever. This is a fudgy toffee flavored cake made with brown sugar and dates and with a toffee syrup around it. And it's usually served with ice cream or custard. I can't tell if that's ice cream or custard yet. I haven't gone into it. I think it's custard. Delish, as always. Like a lot of British food, people fight over who invented it. There's a hotel in Aberdeenshire in Scotland that said they've been making it since 1967. There's also a pub in Yorkshire that said they started making it in 1907. There's also strong ties between Cumbria, a county in the north of England, and sticky toffee pudding. There's a hotel there that has a recipe for icky sticky toffee pudding under lock and key. They claim that that's the original recipe. It's really confusing. Nobody actually knows. Nowadays though, you can find it in almost any pub and restaurant that's serving British cuisine. Okay, I'm stuffed, but while we're at it, we have to stop and get the quintessential English dessert, or as I call it here, pudding, Eaton Mess. This is another dish that is served in lots of pubs and any restaurants that serve English-style food, including the restaurant that we are going to go up to called Avery. It's quite high-end, and it's all the way at the 9th floor. This is a traditional British dish made of strawberries, broken meringue, and whipped cream. You can also use other berries sometimes, but if you use banana, that is a completely different dish that's called a Lancing Mess. Eton is considered the fanciest private boys' school in the UK, where lots of British politicians and other famous people went. And the story is that this dish was created there when a strawberries, meringue, and cream dessert was dropped at a cricket match between Eton and Harrow, another fancy British school. And instead of wasting the food, they scraped the broken meringue off the floor and served it anyway. It's a happy accident. This is a dish that British people often enjoy in the summertime because despite it having a lot of cream in it, it's actually surprisingly light and refreshing. Leftovers for dinner are in hand, and if you want to watch the first part of this video series, then click the box that's popping up right next to me to watch part 1 of dishes you should try when you're in London. There's also another video that you can watch for your London trip there. We'll see you in the next video.